Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. This one is almost exclusively focused on my bottom terrace where I have the crazy mass of brambles that have just completely taken over. I tackle them and I win. And the before and after, they're pretty amazing. It's such a transformation and I hope you enjoy watching me tackle the beast because it was a lot of work. I also give a tour of my trees on the bottom terrace, and there's a couple other surprises in this video as well. So let's just get into it. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again at the end. Good morning. It's about 8 a.m. There's a chill in the air. The sun is out. It's in my eyes. And my goal before breakfast is to do a couple of strimming sessions to see how far I can get through this ridiculousness, because it's time to finally clean this mess up. Wow, so I'm through. This hasn't been cleared in a very long time, and I'm really surprised that the string fitting for this electric strimmer is actually working as it should. I feel like it's actually doing overdrive, and this is a job for a blade, but I can't get this head off, so I'm just using the string, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed. This is going to be a massive job. It's crazy in here, and the more I can do with the strimmer, the better. The clippers are very slow, even though they're also quite efficient, but I gotta say, the strimmer's impressing me. Will it get through this thicker stuff? Who knows? Can I expose the well by today? Who knows? This is a lot of brambles, but I'm determined to get as much done as I can today. So this is where I'm at, and I'll see you guys soon with hopefully something that's a lot clearer. Okay guys, I'm back, and after 3 sessions, which is 6 batteries worth and about an hour and a half of work, this is where I got to. You can sort of see the well, and impressively you can see even more of the well than ever before over on this side. I don't think I've had this part cleared for at least a couple years, maybe even longer. I'm so impressed with my Makita strimmer. I love that thing. It's gotta be one of my top 3 favorite tools, and the fact that it's been able to bash through some of these brambles, these are really thick ones, and this, as I said, hasn't been trimmed in ages, so I thought I'd be coming in here with the clippers, working my way through slowly and trying to get through this mess that way, but somehow the strimmer has bashed through all these brambles, and it's making light work of what I thought would take a really long time. But the batteries are dead. That's one downside with the strimmer, and I've got to wait. So I'm going to do another evening session, 3 times, 6 batteries, and see if I can get this finished. And in the meantime, I'm going to have some breakfast and then return to the well, where I'd like to take off some of the stuff hanging over the well with clippers, take it off by hand, so I don't end up launching too much of the bramble debris into the well itself. I'd much rather come back with the clippers and do everything with a bit more care and finesse so I can pull everything away and try not to have too much drop down into whatever's happening down there. So it's a gorgeous morning. I'm gonna have some breakfast and I'll see you guys soon for some clipper action on the well. I feel like this is going to be a very satisfying job to do, and the results are going to be really, really wonderful. So hopefully I can get through this job without the brambles attacking me too much. I'll go slow. However, I suppose I'm attacking the brambles, so I guess if they want to have a bit of revenge on me, they kind of deserve it. But it's a jungle in here, and some of these brambles are extremely fierce. And if I can get through most of this mess today, I'm going to be very, very happy with myself. So I'm going to put the camera away and just get focused on clearing this out, because I definitely have a lot to get through today. And so here's where I'm at right now. And I'll see you guys maybe in about an hour or so with some results. So it's a couple hours later, and I gotta say I'm so happy with what I've gotten done. Just look at these results. You can see the well finally for the first time in probably years. It's crazy. And I've steered some grapevines along. I've cut back as much of the brambles as I could, and believe me, it was a lot. I've got this massive pile here, another pile over there. The work has been super slow, but I just put my audiobook in and plodded along, and it was actually really sort of satisfying and quite enjoyable, even though I did get stabbed from time to time. So while I've been down here clipping, I've also been putting the hose on each of my trees. It's been a while since I had a water, and I figured now might be a good time to give you a little tour of what's going on down here on the bottom terrace in terms of trees. This one is not looking so happy. I've got some new growth happening on the orange tree, but for the most part, it's looking pretty sad. But I'm hoping I rescued it from the brink of death, and as you can see, we've got some new growth. So let's just see how things go. I'm gonna prune as needed and continue to monitor the tree. This orange tree is looking spectacular. I feel like the prune looks great, and there's loads and loads of oranges on the way, although they're blending into the foliage at the moment. But it's looking good, a lot better than this apple tree. I don't really know what's going on here. My apple trees are struggling. This one is large and the apples are forming, but I don't know what's going on with the leaves. And then I have one up there that just looks pitiful. So more research required, I suppose, but I'll be curious to see how these apples do. There's only a few of them on here. Some of them are looking pretty small still. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then over here, I've got more luscious, lovely comfrey. And this lime tree probably gave me over 100 limes last year, and I'm expecting the same this year. It's looking really, really good. And roll on lime season, because I love limes, and it's so nice to get them from your own tree, especially since they're super expensive in the supermarket. And so the apples are struggling, but my pear trees are doing incredibly. Look at this little guy. And this is my funny tree that I accidentally, I think, bought. It's an espalier, I think it's called, and it's kind of been two-dimensional for many years, but I'm slowly trying to turn it into something that's normal tree-shaped with a bit of pruning, and the pears are looking great. And Sinead has loads of pears over on her gigantic tree as well, which is great news, because we're going to try making pear cider again this year. So the peach tree is kind of a funny one. It was looking terrible, then it's looking better. It's weird that there's no leaves in the interior of the tree. I don't know what's up with that. The peaches all had lots of spots and this weird sort of see-through stuff on it, but they seem to be growing and improving now. They don't look as bad as they once did. So the peach trees are a mystery. They're tricky to grow in this region because of leaf curl and maybe other diseases, but I don't know, besides looking super weird, the peaches seem fine, so I'll be curious to see how they ripen and how they taste. And then over here we've got some more pears, another terrace success story. So I'm happy with that. And moving on to the other trees on the bottom terrace, we have the clementine, mandarin, tangerine tree. I don't exactly know which one it is. I pruned it really hard last year, but it's all bushy again, and there's loads and loads of fruit on that, so that's fabulous news. And then over here we have a peach tree that's looking a little better than the other one, but it definitely has a lot fewer fruit. I actually think that the only peach is somewhere up here, yeah. You can see it right there. It's a little sort of flat donut-shaped peach, which are quite delicious, but the tree, though it looks a lot healthier than the other one does, isn't really producing fruit for me. And then over here I have my little nashi tree, which I really love, and it makes these sort of apple-pear combo fruits. I think it's called a Japanese pear also. They're very tasty, super refreshing, and the tree has always done pretty well for me. It looks very healthy, and I think it's actually got more fruit on it this year than I've ever seen before, so that's good news. It is quite a slow grower. It feels like it's been at this height for a really long time, but it's producing fruit and it seems happy and healthy. And then over here, guys, my favorite tree on all the land, it's Peter Pecan, and he's shot up another little bit this summer so far, but the tree is doing something even more exciting than growing big and strong and tall. I think it finally has some nuts growing. I was fairly certain that when I bought this tree, it didn't need a partner to make nuts. Pears, apples, certain other things, they need another tree for pollination, and I was pretty sure that the pecan didn't, but then many people have told me that it did, and so I became confused and concerned, and I was going to buy another tree. I just never got around to it. But behold, we have the formings of pecans, and I have quite a few of them on here too. There's some more up there, and I think there's some more around this side. And so perhaps it's a case, as with avocados, I think, and some other trees, where if you have a buddy, it'll produce more. And I think Peter Pecan is under 4 years old, and I'd heard that pecan trees don't start producing until age 5, so I love this tree. It's great news. I'm so happy to see the nuts. I'm so happy to see the tree growing taller and looking super healthy. And even though apparently you don't need another tree to grow nuts, I'm gonna pick up another one because I love the way the tree looks, and they grow into these huge, majestic trees, and I just feel like planting trees for future generations is amazing, and I would love to have a couple of big, beautiful pecan trees on this land far into the future. So the weather's been super hot, and while I've been down here clipping, I've been moving the hose around to each of my trees, leaving it on for about 20 minutes each, giving them a nice big drink because it's been a while since I gave them a good soak. So I'll continue to do that as I trim, and I'm gonna get the trimmer back out for this job because I think the clippers would take forever, and I don't know. I don't even know what's going on in this tree. I need to get into the base of it with the trimmer to then try to clip the vines and the brambles and all the stuff that's going up into this tree. It's actually pretty crazy. This part of my land has been very neglected, and I fear that if I don't get in there and rescue that tree very soon, it's not going to be happy. So let's get the trimmer on and get to work. Okay, let's go. Well, that was pretty brutal, I gotta say. I've been going at it for about an hour. I've used 4 batteries, had 2 trimmer sessions, and I've made plenty of progress. I can almost walk all the way around to the other side of the tree, And that's after me waving the strimmer in the air like a maniac and trying to get all the smaller brambles from up high. The stuff down below is definitely gonna need a thicker blade, but currently I don't have one. So I don't know if I'm gonna come get this with the clippers or what. It's a job for another day though, because I'm exhausted. But even though the job isn't fully done, it still is really nice to be able to sort of walk past here. There's still some brambles in the way. There's also a mega hole right below me, right next to the well. I think I'm stuck. Okay, so it's not totally walk-aroundable just yet. But it's, okay, now I'm stuck on my shirt. All right, so it's still very treacherous back here, but it definitely is a huge improvement. And I can see the tree again, which is amazing. So my next move is gonna be to come with the clippers and try to pull all the bigger vines out and see if I can work my way in to the tree. And then I'll have to pull the vines down from the top because they're all really intertwined up there in amongst the leaves. And then see if I can free this thing, because that tree has been stuck under there for a couple of years at least. So it's been a very full day, but really quite productive. I also managed to get some stuff done over on this side. The tree's got a good water, and I'm happy with how things went, but I'm exhausted. So even though it's about 7 p.m., I think I'm gonna call it quits on work and possibly have a nap. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe to tackle that, maybe to do something else. I haven't decided yet, and I'll see you then. Good morning, folks. It's really nice to see the well once again, but I still have a lot of work to do freeing this tree from some pretty serious brambles. You can see we've got a lot of stuff down here, and then we've got a lot of stuff climbing up into there. So I think my strategy is to get the tool of joy on a stick and see what I can snip down. Starting by making a bit more space to walk around the well, and then I guess I'll just keep chopping a little bit here, a little bit there, and eventually, hopefully, I'll free this tree. Okay, I think I'm going to call it quits on working in this area of the land for the moment. Actually, I think first I'm going to chainsaw this tree down. I know it seems drastic, but it's crowding this other tree, and I'd like to get this space a little bit more open back here. And when I cut down an olive tree, it's not just for the sake of it. I haven't cut any down yet or any big branches off, but I do plan to. And when I do, I'm going to be using the beautiful wood to build things in the future. So what I'd like to do now is chop this down, clear off all the branches, and then possibly strip the bark and store it, let it dry, and then I'm going to have a really amazing looking piece of wood to work with in the future. And my plan is to do some hard prunes, get some nice big chunky branches, and then eventually build some things for the garden, build some pergolas and some vertical structures. But that's a job for another day. The building anyway, the chainsawing will happen soon. As you can see, I've got lots of little bits still sticking up. I could keep going at this forever and ever and ever, but I think this is fine for the moment. I've been working on this now for 2 days pretty solidly, and I'm ready to move on to something else. But the results are great. I can actually walk around the well. I can actually see the well. Perhaps the well needs a bit of a clean, though I don't really use this water, so I'm happy to just have it like that for the moment. The terrace is looking much better, and I feel a lot better with fire season approaching, having this area totally cleared. Well, I guess it's not totally cleared. I do have those piles of trimmings still over there by the well. I've got another one here, and unfortunately the fire ban is in place now, so I won't be doing a burn pile, but I think I can put it all in one area, and hopefully it'll just slowly compost down, and if it's all in one pile, it won't be too much of a hazard. So, it's a beautiful afternoon. I still have more work ahead of me, and I'm gonna take a break for lunch, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm back, and before I get to some tree destruction on the olives, I thought I would balance out my karma a little bit with some tree care. A lot of you guys commented on this grapefruit tree in my last video when I showed it, noticing that perhaps there's aphids on the tree because there's ants going up and down, and I don't actually see signs of aphids, but I do see some funky leaves, and I do see the ants traveling quite a lot. So I'd like to get the ants off the tree, and many of you suggested, and I've used this before, using, there's some aphids there, using a mixture of dish soap and water. So I'm going to try to get that on all the leaves, rub it all in, and then I have another plan for keeping the ants off the tree itself. Okay, I think that'll do, but this is a two-pronged approach, and I have this stuff, which basically is a simple approach. It's just a tape. It goes on sticky side out, and the ants get stuck and therefore can't climb up the tree. Last year was interesting, or maybe it was the year before. I've completely lost track of all time. I put it on my cherry tree, and it seems like the ants figured out a way to get up it, because when I came back to just check on it, they had actually put a whole bunch of little stones all the way up, creating a sort of bridge. So it was quite fascinating to see. A little frustrating because I still ended up getting on the tree, but it was a lot fewer ants than it was before. So that's my plan this time, and it'll be interesting to observe to see if they do the ant stone bridge again or what. I'm gonna see if I can get another piece on there just to seal off the bottom and force them onto the sticky stuff. Sorry, ants, but I gotta save my tree, man. Okay, job done, and I'll be sure to report back. And before I go down to the bottom terrace to chainsaw some stuff, I wanted to stop off over on this bed because I think it's looking beautiful. The corn is just wonderful looking. It sort of waves around in the wind, and then these little bits go onto the silk, and that's what makes each kernel. So that's why you want to plant corn in sort of a dense area, or you can self-pollinate like this, just picking it off, but that seems like a pain in the neck. But it's looking beautiful. I've got some little flowers popping up. I think there's some sign of butternut squash, even though it's all crowded over here in the corner, but we've got some signs of squash. And it's just looking really, really cool. I especially like these flowers. I don't really remember what they are, but they're beautiful and stuff is looking good. And oh, look at this. My first blueberry of the season. Yum, yum. So the garden's going great, but now it's time to tend to a tree. So I'm not chopping down this tree just because I want the wood to use for creative endeavors. I'm chopping it down because it's crowded out by this bigger tree and it's dying and it doesn't really do much, and I think it'll be nice with just a bit more open. And so I feel like it's gonna accomplish two things. It's gonna create more space. This one can thrive, and then I'll also be able to use this really lovely chunky wood, hopefully for something cool. So I think I'm gonna start by using the clippers to get off all the wispy stuff up there, and then I'll chop it down after that. So I'm not massively experienced cutting down big trees like this. Most of my chainsaw work has been with firewood, but I have had a lesson and it is all quite logical. So I'm going to take a little bit out of the bottom and then finish the cutoff on top. So, wish me luck. So just a small little pie-shaped section, and hopefully it won't take too much to get this guy down. Okay, that went exactly as planned. Let's get off these other pieces, and then I have my awesome bit of olive for building in the future. Okay, job done. I think this is definitely a two-person operation to get this thing up to my place. So it might live down here for the moment, and I'll return another day, take it up, and start stripping the bark. But I'm just so pleased with how this looks after a couple of really hard days of work. It's just open, it's clear, and I'm reminded of what this looked like several years ago. I haven't seen it like this for a while, and it's just nice to see. And I really am happy that I took that tree down. It's going to be a great building material, and it's also not going to be in the way of this tree. And hopefully this tree will be happier, and that tree will go to a lovely building project in the future. So this has been many hours of pretty hard, but weirdly very enjoyable work. I love doing the jobs where you actually do see a lot of progress after maybe just a couple of days of hard graft. And yeah, it's looking fantastic down here. I really, really love how it looks, and I'm gonna try to keep on top of the brambles going forward. So I think this is a good place to wrap up the video. Just a lot of work on the bottom terrace, and the results speak for themselves. I'm happy. I hope you enjoyed that little land clearing flurry, and I wish I could clean this up right now, but I'm exhausted and it's hot, so this is a job for some morning in the future this week. So thanks for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.